It's easy to lose sight of what we're getting right. The effects of climate solutions are starting to be realized. Limiting global temperature rise to 1.5 degrees Celsius is still within reach. Let's zoom in on how far we've come, upshot by upshot. We are on our way to electrifying everything. The price of solar panels and wind turbines has come down by more than 90%. We're making cheaper batteries, heat pumps, electrolyzers, and capital is flowing in the right direction too. Last year, almost $1 trillion was invested in clean energy, an increase of 25% year on year. Did you know that in 2021, 85% of all new additions to the global grids were renewable, mostly wind and solar? 50% alone were solar. Much of this shift is thanks to China, a country that historically was a major source of pollution and now is a major source of solutions. China is now producing as much wind and solar energy as Europe produces electricity. Combined with low-cost wind, this cheap electricity will spill over into all sectors of the economy. And the world is going to need it, because fossil fuels are only getting more expensive and risky. Hundreds of millions of humans still don't have access to any electricity at all. Energy demand from Africa and Southeast Asia will grow exponentially in the coming decades. It's time to share the love of low-cost solar power for all. Let's talk about the remarkable adoption of electric vehicles. In Norway, almost 100% of new cars are electric. By 2035, this will be true in California too. Policy changes in America mean everything from trucks to school buses will soon be electric, and these EVs are driving real-world change. Global oil consumption peaked in 2019, and even post-COVID, consumption has flattened and is expected to trend down throughout the 2020s. Why? The electrification of 2- and 3-wheelers, the motorbikes, mopeds, rickshaws, and tuk-tuks of Asia significantly reduced oil demand in 2022. And it's not just transport and mobility that's changing. Global alternative protein companies secured $5 billion in investments in 2021. That's up 60% from $3 billion in 2020. In California, residents and businesses are now required to divert 23 million tons of organic waste from landfill into compost, mulch, and renewable energy. That's just a taste of what's possible when we tackle food waste. A recent study showed that composting and waste segregation worldwide could be the equivalent of taking all the cars off the road in the US. The building sector is also getting disrupted. Think smart concrete, low-carbon materials, and weatherized structures. The good news? Up to 80% of the solutions we need to decarbonize buildings exist today. The average American household is set to receive over $10,000 to fully electrify their homes. This is making electrification affordable for the first time. And yet, carbon dioxide is still relentlessly rising. But did you know that US emissions peaked 15 years ago? New policy initiatives mean it's set to decrease another 40% by 2030. Even China looks like it will peak this decade. China's emissions fell about 1.4% in the first quarter of 2022, making it the third quarter in a row of reductions. Obviously, we've still got work to do. It's a race to determine whether we can achieve carbon drawdown fast enough. A big part of winning that race? Startups. They are one of our biggest hidden superpowers, powered by the huge amount of money flowing into climate tech companies and project development. And this is why we're here. It's time to double down on innovation, ingenuity, and transformation. And to remember that despite all the challenges, there is still time.